We have a set of readings here which are, at least for me, a challenge. Each of the readings speak on the same theme, which is great. We have the book of Ecclesiastes, the writer speaking of vanities, a man who labors wisely, skillfully, and must leave what he has to someone who has not toiled for it. We have Jesus speaking of the man who, with his hoard of crops that he's gathered and wants to build barns. And then we have St. Paul saying that you must look for the things. First of all, he says, you've been brought back to true life with Christ. You must look for the things that are in heaven where Christ is, sitting at God's right hand. Let your thoughts be on heavenly things, not on the things that are here on the earth. So, folks, we have a goal in life. Maybe you have lots of goals. I'm sure there are lots of goals we can have. But our goal, our final goal, is heaven. That's where we're aiming for. We will all die. You know that. Yes? Will you all die? Yes. Okay. Say that again. Will you all die? Yes. Okay. It's important to remember that. You're going to die. Okay? Everything you have here that you've collected, that you've amassed, you cannot take with you. This is what Jesus is telling us. You can't take it. You can gather it up all you like, but actually all that stuff does not help you get to heaven. It does not help you one little bit. And a lot of the time, it's actually a hindrance. It makes it more difficult to get to heaven. You have a duty. All of us have duties here on earth. Many of you are husbands or parents, okay? So you do have a duty to your wife, to your husband, and to your kids. You have a duty before God, before them, in justice, to work for their care, for their upbringing, so that they can be healthy and happy and all that sort of stuff. That's your duty as a spouse, as a parent. Okay? It's important. It's important for them and for yourself. But you have a higher duty than them. It takes precedence. It's more important than your wife or your husband or your kids. Did you know that? You have a higher duty. That higher duty is holiness. That higher duty is to become saints. That higher duty is to work your way to heaven. It is far more important than the other things. If you are working to live a life of holiness, to become saints, then the other things will work itself out. Your first duty is to become a saint. That's my first duty. I'm here as a parish priest. I'm looking after this parish of St. Mary's Cathedral, and I have a duty towards you. My duty is to help you to become saints. Okay? To help you to worship God, come to know Him, love Him, and serve Him with all your hearts, and your neighbor as yourselves. And there are lots of practical things involved with that. Making sure that people are prepared for their marriage, for their baptism, organizing how the ceremonies are done. And I do get very caught up. This is why I said this is a challenge for me. This is a challenge for me. It is a challenge. And it's a challenge for all of us, because I get caught up in the nitty-gritty, the planning, preparing. Is this ready? Have we got somebody to look after that? You know, are these meetings going to happen? And I can get so caught up in this stuff that I forget my true purpose. Heaven. I forget why I'm doing what I'm doing. I can get lost in this. And then I just become a civil servant, as it were, rather than a pastor, rather than a priest. My first goal, my first, what I should be aiming for in life before all other things is to be holy, is to become a saint. That above everything else. Serving you is part of that work, but boy, I can't lose my ultimate goal by focusing on you, if that makes sense. I don't know if I've just explained that very well. I think I've lost. But you know what I'm saying? Yes? Okay. Same with you guys. You know, you can get caught up in earning money for the family, having a nice place and all this sort of stuff. But we can get lost in the stuff here. You know that. We can earn our money and say, okay, I've got money now. I've got more than I had last time. I can buy a bigger car. I've got more than I had last time. I can buy a bigger house. I've got more than I had last time. I can buy a bigger holiday. I've got more than I had beforehand. I can buy an island. I've got more than I had beforehand. I can buy bigger barns. And I can tell myself, I've got enough to last me years. Take it easy, relax, have fun, and enjoy yourself. And the Lord could come and say, fool, fool, you've missed the point. Tonight I come and take your soul, and all that stuff will have served you for nothing. Nothing. And probably it will have damned you to hell. The stuff that you have, the money that you've earned, it's not for you. Yes, you can use it for yourself, for your family, but at the end of the day, you didn't give it to you. It's grace, it's gift from God. The reason that you're here in this country, in this place, at this time, is God's grace, it's gift. It's not anything that you've done. Your intelligence, that's God's grace. The way things have come together to enable you to have what you have now, that's not because you decided everything and made sure everything came into... No, that's God's grace. That's gift. What you have is not yours. It was given to you by God. It's not for you to keep for yourself selfishly, hoarding it up. I'll have more, I'll have bigger, I'll have better, blah, 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 blah. All of that leads to hell. The stuff that you've got, the treasures that you've accumulated, you should use. You should store up treasure for yourself in heaven. Use what you have for others, for good, to serve God. How can what I have, how can my gifts, my treasures, my talents, my time be used for the building up of God's kingdom? That will get you to heaven. Loving your neighbor, loving God that way. That's what the stuff you have is for. Now, I have to take this away, and I have to refocus myself. Because I too, like I'm sure most of us, get lost in this stuff. So, God give us grace to refocus our minds, refocus our energies, refocus our lives. Amen. Amen. Amen.